Many people struggle with their morning routine, finding it boring, exhausting, or exhausting. They often resort to distractions, procrastination, or escape, hoping to avoid the reality of their lives. But what if there was a better way? A way that can transform your morning from a source of dread to a source of joy. A method that can make you more productive, flexible, and happier throughout the day. This method is Stoicism. Stoicism is an ancient philosophy that teaches us how to live well, in harmony with nature and reason. It is based on the idea that the only thing we can control are our thoughts, judgments, and actions, and that everything else is beyond our control and indifferent to our happiness. By focusing on what we can control and accepting what we cannot control, we can achieve a state of inner peace, wisdom, and virtue. One of the most practical and powerful aspects of Stoicism is its application to everyday life. The Stoics developed a set of exercises and practices that help us develop our rational and moral capacities, preparing us to meet the challenges and opportunities we face. These exercises and practices can be incorporated into our morning routine to set the tone and direction for the rest of the day. In this video, we'll explore 4 Stoic principles that can help us craft our ideal morning routine and how to implement them into our lives. The first principle is to wake up early and get going. This means to rise with the sun, or even before it, and to start your day with enthusiasm and energy. The Stoics believed that sleeping too much or too late was a sign of laziness and indulgence, and that it wasted precious time that could be used for more noble and productive purposes. As Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote in his Meditations, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, 'I have to go to work as a human being. What do I have to complain of if I'm going to do what I was born for, the things I was brought into the world to do? Or is this what I was created for? To huddle under the blankets and stay warm? So you were born to feel nice, instead of doing things and experiencing them. Don't you see the plants, the birds, the ants and spiders and bees going about their individual tasks, putting the world in order as best they can? And you're not willing to do your job as a human being? Why aren't you running to do what your nature demands?' By waking up early and getting going, we align ourselves with the natural order of the world, and we fulfill our duty as human beings. We also gain more time and energy to pursue our goals and passions, and to make a positive contribution to society. To implement this principle, we can follow these steps. Set a regular bedtime and wake-up time, and stick to them. Ideally, we should aim for 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night, and wake up around sunrise or shortly after. Avoid using electronic devices such as phones, computers, or TVs at least an hour before bed. These devices emit blue light, which can disrupt our circadian rhythm and make it harder to fall asleep and wake up. Use an alarm clock that is loud and annoying, and place it far away from your bed. This will force you to get up and turn it off, and prevent you from snoozing or going back to sleep. As soon as you wake up, get out of bed and do something physical, such as stretching, jumping, or running. This will activate your body and mind, and make you feel more alert and energized. Remind yourself of your purpose and motivation for the day. Think of the things you want to accomplish, the people you want to help, or the values you want to uphold. This will give you a sense of direction and enthusiasm, and make you eager to get started. The second principle is to reflect on your goals and priorities. This means to review your long-term and short-term objectives, and to plan your actions and tasks for the day. The Stoics believed that having a clear and coherent vision of what we want to achieve and why was essential for living well and acting wisely. As Seneca, the Roman statesman and Stoic philosopher, wrote in his Letters from a Stoic, "Every day, therefore, should be regulated as if it were the one that brings up the rear, the one that rounds out and completes our lives. We should order our conduct according to the following principles: to have a clear idea of what constitutes the good, and to stick to it; to have a clear idea of what constitutes the bad, and to avoid it; to have a clear idea of what constitutes the indifferent, and to treat it with indifference; By reflecting on our goals and priorities, we align ourselves with our rational and moral faculties, and we avoid being distracted or misled by external things. We also gain more clarity and focus on what matters most, and what we can do to achieve it. To implement this principle, we can follow these steps. Write down your long-term and short-term goals and review them regularly. Ideally, you should have 1 or 2 main goals for each area of your life, such as health, wealth, relationships, or personal growth. These goals should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Break down your goals into smaller and manageable tasks and assign them to specific days and times. For example, if your goal is to write a book, you can break it down into chapters, sections, paragraphs, and sentences, and schedule them accordingly. Every morning, review your tasks for the day and prioritize them according to their importance and urgency. You can use the Eisenhower matrix, which divides tasks into 4 categories. Important and urgent, do first. Important and not urgent, schedule. Not important and urgent, delegate or minimize. Not important and not urgent, eliminate or postpone. Estimate how much time each task will take and allocate it accordingly. Be realistic and flexible and leave some buffer time for unexpected events or interruptions. You can use a timer or a calendar app to track your time and remind you of your tasks. At the end of the day, review your progress and performance and evaluate your results. Celebrate your achievements and learn from your mistakes. Adjust your goals and tasks as needed and plan for the next day. The third principle is to meditate on your challenges and opportunities. This means to think about the possible difficulties and hardships that you may face during the day, and to prepare yourself mentally and emotionally for them. It also means to think about the possible benefits and advantages that you may gain from the day, and to motivate yourself to seize them. The Stoics believe that by anticipating the worst and hoping for the best, we can become more resilient and adaptable, and avoid being surprised or disappointed by the outcomes. As Seneca, the Roman statesman and Stoic philosopher, wrote in his Letters from a Stoic, "Every day, therefore, should be regulated, as if it were the one that brings up the rear, the one that rounds out and completes our lives. And at the same time, we should remember that, while it is within our power to live honorably, it is not within our power to live long. We should therefore so live that we may gain the greatest benefit from our existence, and that we may not be unprepared for our departure when fate orders it." By meditating on our challenges and opportunities, we align ourselves with the reality and uncertainty of the world, and we fulfill our duty as human beings. We also gain more confidence and courage, and avoid being complacent or fearful. To implement this principle, we can follow these steps. Imagine the worst-case scenarios that could happen during the day, and how you would deal with them. This is called negative visualization, and it is a technique that helps us reduce our attachment to external things and increase our appreciation for what we have. It also helps us prepare for the inevitable difficulties and setbacks that we may encounter and develop a plan of action to overcome them. Imagine the best-case scenarios that could happen during the day and how you would enjoy them. This is called positive visualization, and it is a technique that helps us increase our optimism and motivation and enhance our well-being. It also helps us prepare for the potential opportunities and rewards that we may encounter and develop a plan of action to seize them. Balance your expectations and emotions and adopt a Stoic attitude. This means to be realistic and rational and not to let your hopes or fears cloud your judgment. It also means to be calm and composed and not to let your joy or sorrow affect your character. As Epictetus said, "Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do happen, and you will go on well." The fourth and final principle is to express gratitude and kindness. This means to acknowledge and appreciate the good things and people in your life, and to show your respect and compassion for them. The Stoics believed that gratitude and kindness were essential for living well, as they fostered a sense of connection and harmony with ourselves, others, and the universe. As Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. By expressing gratitude and kindness, we align ourselves with the natural and social order of the world, and we fulfill our potential as human beings. We also gain more happiness and satisfaction and avoid being ungrateful or selfish. To implement this principle, we can follow these steps. Write down 3 things that you are grateful for and why. They can be big or small, personal or general, material or spiritual. The important thing is to be specific and sincere, and to feel the emotion of gratitude. This will help you cultivate a positive and abundant mindset and recognize the value and beauty of your life. Write down 3 people that you are grateful for and why. They can be your family, friends, colleagues, or strangers. The important thing is to be specific and sincere, and to feel the emotion of gratitude. This will help you cultivate a loving and generous heart and appreciate the role and contribution of others in your life. Write down 3 acts of kindness that you can do for others, and do them. They can be simple or complex, verbal or non-verbal, direct or indirect. The important thing is to be intentional and genuine, and to feel the emotion of kindness. This will help you cultivate a noble and virtuous character and make a positive difference in the world. A morning routine is a powerful way to start your day and to set yourself up for success and happiness. By following the 4 Stoic principles of waking up early and getting going, reflecting on your goals and priorities, meditating on your challenges and opportunities, and expressing gratitude and kindness, you can craft your ideal morning routine and practice Stoicism in your daily life. Stoicism is not a rigid or dogmatic philosophy, but a flexible and adaptable one. You can customize your morning routine according to your preferences, needs, and goals, and experiment with different activities and techniques. The important thing is to be consistent and committed, and to enjoy the process and the results. As Seneca said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor."